Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Baddies Gone Wild DR episode 11. So let's just get right into it because a lot happened in this episode. So Lauren ends up coming back to the house after spending the night in the hotel because the night before the girls ended up getting into it at the club. And when she was coming back into the house after they got home from the club, the girls from Team B were hiding in the corner. And as she was walking in the door, they threw a bunch of water at her because she walked into the house by herself and the girls from Team A were behind her. And so she was pissed off not only because Team B keeps coming for her, but also because the girls on her side really didn't do anything to have her back in that situation. None of them threw anything back, and so she feels like she's been standing alone. So in this episode, when she gets back to the house, she sits down with the rest of the girls from Team A, even though I don't really feel like there's a Team A anymore because a lot of those girls don't stand on business. The only ones that have been standing on business from Team A is Lauren and Baby Tyson and sometimes Dava. And Lauren basically tells Kutta K and G Baby during this conversation that she understands that they're not fighters, but if all of them are fighting, she feels like they should at least throw something back and get involved a little bit. But I feel like the not a fighter thing only stands for G Baby because Kutta K came on this show fighting. The very first episode she was fighting at the auditions. The only time that she stopped fighting was after Becky humbled her. When Becky beat her ass the way that she did and she was walking around with that big black eye, she literally beat the personality out of that girl, and we haven't seen much of her since then. And during this conversation, Lauren was still saying that she likes them and that she's cool with them, but I feel like she could have saved that because I don't think she should be cool with these two girls, and I think now that she's watching it back, she'll realize how phony they actually were because Lulu and Kutta K were sitting down with both Maloni and Becky in this episode, and they were basically throwing Lauren completely under the bus. And I wanted to like Lulu, but I remember at one of the first episodes that I did a review for this season, I said that something about Lulu did not sit right with me because she keeps saying in every episode that she doesn't feel like she needs to have Lauren's back and she doesn't want Lauren to feel like she owes her any type of loyalty. And that keeps rubbing me the wrong way because we've seen Lauren have Lulu's back even recently because I think either somebody tried to throw something at Lulu when she was getting on the bus or somebody tried to swing at her and Lauren swung at them for her. And again, Lulu got in her confessional and said that she doesn't want Lauren to think she owes her loyalty. But in this conversation between Lulu, Maloni, Becky, and Kutta K, basically Lulu was saying that she did not agree with Lauren touching Becky's wig. And I understand she didn't like her touching their stuff, and I feel like that's something you can acknowledge, but why would she say that to Lauren's ops? If you're supposed to be Lauren's friend, why would you go to her ops and say you didn't agree with what she did? You can tell Lauren privately that you don't agree with what she did, but you don't go to her ops and say that. And then it gets even worse because Kutta K with her scary ass ends up telling Becky that Lauren told her and G Baby to jump her, and it's like Lauren never told G Baby and Kutta K to jump Becky. She told them that they should get involved when all of them are fighting, and they brought up the fact that Becky beat their ass and she told them to jump her then. She wasn't telling them to literally jump her. She was saying that if they're that scared of her and she comes at them to jump her. And my thing is, I don't know if Kutta K and Lulu thought that this was going to impress the girls from Team B, but it really didn't because Maloni ended up getting in her confessional saying that she didn't respect the fact that they threw Lauren under the bus because she said that even if one of her friends would have told her to jump one of the other girls, she would never go sit in their face and tell them that her friend said that. And it's true, it's just lame. But Natalie ends up sending a text to the girls telling them to meet her on a yacht. And so Team A gets on one sprinter and Team B gets on the other sprinter. And something was interesting to me that was said on Team B's sprinter because I think it was Alana who joked around that Nas is actually the one that was making the jokes about Lauren having a smelly cat. And basically Leandra ended up taking the fall for it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm interested to see if that is. But on Team A's bus, Dava is having trouble breathing. She's in pain, so they end up having the medic come and give her a little bit of oxygen so that she can breathe. Something is always wrong with Dava. I do like her this season. She's one of the girls I actually liked, her, Lauren, and Baby Tyson. But I just feel like something's always wrong with her. But they end up getting on the yacht with Natalie and YK Niece. And honestly, Natalie told them girls not to get on that bus and fight. And if they feel like they can't hold it together, then they need to get off the boat right now. So the girls were on their best behavior at first. They were having a good time dancing, laughing, joking around. But then the girls started getting some drinks in their system and they started bickering and being really petty. Marie and Dava start going back and forth with each other, making fun of one another. But Maloni was doing entirely too much. She reminds me of Mariah Lynn, honestly. I mean, she was even getting on Natalie's nerves the way that she was acting. She was just doing too much. She was talking over everybody. She was trying to make it seem like she was whooping people, even though we know she didn't. She was saying that she whooped Lauren, she whooped Dava, and it's like, when did she whoop Lauren ever? I don't know, it just reminds me of Mariah Lynn, how she tries to act like she's tough because the girls around her are tougher than her, and how she tries to make it seem like she won a fight she didn't actually win. That's what Maloni was giving in this episode. Natalie was so funny though, because she called it. She said that as soon as the girls get off the bus, they're immediately going to start fighting, and that's exactly what happened. Maloni starts going back and forth with Dava, and Dava's saying that she's not trying to fight because she's injured, and all Maloni keeps talking about is the fact that Dava has a white husband, and I'm so annoyed that she keeps on doing that, because why does she keep dragging this woman because she married a white man? And then on top of that, Maloni looks like she's mixed herself. Like, she might not be mixed, but to me, she looks like she is. I mean, I'm mixed my damn self, but looking at Maloni, she looks like she's mixed, so I don't understand what she's talking about. I mean, she might not be, but her coming at this woman because her husband's white is honestly annoying. Like, why does she keep bringing up this woman's husband? But Lauren and Becky are finally going back and forth with each other, and everybody's ready to see the two of them fight because they're two of the best fighters on this season. But I feel like Becky's girls were amping her up a little bit too much, because they were basically making it seem like Becky was gonna whoop Lauren's ass, and that's not what ended up happening. Because they fight 2 rounds. The first round, they both were swinging at each other, but it looked like Lauren was really getting in there with Becky, and it looked like she was getting the best of Becky, and Becky was getting frustrated because she's used to dog walking these girls in a fight, and she wasn't able to do that with Lauren. Then they fight another round, and this time it was closer and it was a different angle, and we were able to see that Lauren got Becky. Like, she won that second round hands down, no question about it. She was catching her in her face. Becky could barely get her hands on Lauren in this second round, and so I honestly think that hurt her pride a little bit because she's used to whooping these girls, but she couldn't do that with Lauren. Meanwhile, Natalie is in the background yelling for them to get in the car and not fight because she doesn't want them to go to Dominican jail, and they're saying that they don't care. But I'm not gonna lie, the part of this episode that had me cracking up was Natalie, okay? Because Natalie was in the car, she had the door open, and she looks dead at the camera, and she says, "These hoes are gonna go to jail, and I'm not going with them," and she slams the door shut. That had me cracking up. Natalie is hilarious. But while Lauren and Becky were fighting, Alana decided to run up on Dava, and Dava took a swing on Alana, and she swung a little too hard, and she ended up popping her shoulder out of the socket, and so she's on the floor in the corner, and the medic has to go over there and pop her shoulder back into place. That was crazy. I really feel like these girls need to stop trying to fight Dava and give her a little bit of a break, because this girl really seems like she's injured. And after her shoulder gets popped back into place, here goes Maloni trying to fight her, trying to act tough, trying to show off in front of Natalie, even though we can tell that Natalie wasn't really feeling her. Honestly, I'm not feeling Maloni this season, but I want to see her go to regular baddies so they can humble her or they can beat her ass so that she can know that this is not really for her, because the way that she's running her mouth on this show, I don't think she'll do that on regular baddies. But Maloni runs up on Dava, and Dava kicks her straight in the stomach or the chest, whatever one it was, and she fell backwards, and honestly, that was embarrassing. Like, why are you trying to fight this girl? This girl told you she did not want to fight you, and then you run up on her and she kicks you down to the ground like you're a little ass girl. But then Maloni gets up and they fight a short little round. Neither one of them did anything in this fight, but yet Maloni was jumping around, yelling, acting like she won and she beat Dava's ass. And I'm like, it's definitely giving Mariah Lynn. But they finally end up getting these girls to get on the sprinter so that they can finally go home. They have a 2-hour drive back to the house. And so the girls are saying that they're going to sleep. So they get on the bus, they start going to sleep. And as soon as the bus pulls up to the house, Team B jumps out of the bus and they run to the girls in Team A and they start fighting. We don't know who was fighting who because the episode cut there. But those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies Gone Wild DR. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.